Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing? I'm excited to be here today with everyone and have my very good friend Emily here. Let me see how can I invite her. Invite people right there. I need to do this more often so I know what I'm doing, so it doesn't take so much time in the beginning. Can you guys let me know if you can hear me well? It's a little windy today and I'm stuck on my balcony because... Hi, Emily.
Hi. Hi, Koki. How are you?
I'm doing good. Let me know if you can hear me well because I'm on the balcony as you can see. I forgot that the workers are starting demolition today. We are opening up the wall between the two apartments, which is exciting.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but they are literally in my living room setting up, and I'm like, okay, I better come on the balcony, but I forgot it's pretty windy, so
No, the connection is good and you have a beautiful backdrop.
all
So,
right, perfect.
all set. I know I'd be
Okay.
outside too, but my internet connection is not good enough. So, I'm inside for now.
Okay, perfect. I can hear you well, so hopefully it stays like that.
Yes, definitely.
Look
Well,
at
thanks for
your
having me on
curls.
today. Oh, right?
Beautiful.
Thanks.
Your hair
I
is
love it.
glorious.
Thank you. It's been such a transformation. There have been so many things going on that have been such a transformation, and my hair is one of them. I never had curly hair before, and then I started
Wow.
treating it differently, using different products, taking care of it differently, and I've had curls like never before. So transformation over the last like year and a half, well, more than that ultimately, but is really showcasing itself for me these days. It's a
Wow,
beautiful.
that's amazing. We're gonna get into that more deeper when we have more people, but I always love it when, when people, become more conscious and they make better choices and, they don't give up. Like they don't just like, hey, I did this for a month or two and nothing, changed, but they will keep going because, the body needs time to adjust. Nothing happens over time. Everything that's good needs some time, right?
Yes, nothing happens all at once. Absolutely. The body,
Exactly.
the mind, right? You know that yoga's been a part of my life for 16 plus years. And, learning those lessons of life early on that this is a practice. Give it time, have patience, have grace, and trial and error. Trial and error. Don't be afraid to like go on a whim and try something else and see what the results are, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Consistency is the key, and listen to our body, listening to our body, what it wants, what it craves. I know for myself, like today, I was really planning on doing my yoga practice,
Yes.
uh, and I still haven't got to it because with everything that's going on, I'm like, okay, I have to do this and that and this and that first, but it just have to be first thing in the morning. I feel like for me, I just, once I wake up, I walk the dog and I have to do it. Like that's it. But it didn't happen today. But I love my yoga practice. It's really like, listening to the body, with the breath it takes me. It sets my day on a good note.
Absolutely. And gosh, you know that what I love teaching is for those that don't know, so I'm a yoga teacher, but and a teacher trainer. But the yoga is more than just the physical postures, right? I think we need it. It is such an important part to move our body in some form of movement. Yoga really adds that element of conscious movement and preparing the body for stillness, for some quiet to set in, right? But gosh, there were years when I first had my kids. I have two, a 3 and a 6 year old. When I first had them, I totally lost hold of an asana practice. Getting to the mat every day, it took months and months to find myself back there. But I kept reminding myself, I'm still practicing yoga. I'm still practicing consciousness. I'm still practicing awareness in every confrontation or every obstacle or managing my stress, right? These lessons I'm learning, I'm still in practice. And you'll get to your mat, right? Because our body needs that medicine too.
Oh yeah, 100%. So, if the people that don't know me, my name is Koki. I'm a health and wellness coach. and the Live Ultimate ambassador. Live Ultimate is a health and wellness brand specialized in superfoods and nutritional skincare. And I'm here today with a wonderful friend of mine, Emily, who is an amazing yoga teacher, amazing friend, and she's advocate about health and wellness. And we're gonna talk about, all the good things, what's going on with us, how these wonderful products, the ultimate products, made our lives better, how it improved our health, and we're just gonna talk about that and share, our wisdom on it. So thank you,
Yeah.
Emily, so much for being here. You
Oh,
can
it's
just
my pleasure.
So just tell us, where you are, where you're from, your little background, and how, how did we're gonna get into it about the ultimate.
Yeah, of course, no problem. So, my name is Emily, and I am a yoga teacher. I'm born and raised in Canada, and I did my studies there. My interests, gosh, early in my late teens, early 20s, I, somehow fell upon the exploration of the mind, meditation, concentration, focus, these things. And it led me into I started theological studies in university and then shifted a few times, minored in religious studies and majored in communications and cultural studies. So kind of taking a peek into the human experience has always been something that I gain a lot of insight from, and I thrive off of insightful moments. I'm always looking for the next insight, something that can just kind of piece the puzzle together and blow my mind, and I love that. And what in the end also led me to yoga. So along this path, I've always been just trying to, how do I become a better person? How do I become a better communicator? How do I become healthier? In my early 20s, I also suffered from IBS, which is, a super prolific thing called irritable bowel syndrome for those that don't know. And it also put me down a course of looking at what I eat and my exposure, my stress, all of these factors.
Wow.
And so the journey continued, right? I cut out a lot of things. I was looking for allergens. I was with doctors quite a bit, getting multiple types of tests and exams done, and everything was like negative, negative, negative. They're like, we are just going to call it IBS, which is come to be understood. It's being explored a lot better these days,
Mm-hmm.
but back over 10 years ago, it was the diagnosis for we don't really know what's going on,
I
right?
feel like a lot of that is still around. Mm-hmm.
So, right. And so all I knew was that this is something psychosomatic, which is my environment and how I'm processing. So I need to get to myself, look at my environment, look at my relationships, and look at my relationship with myself. So the journey of self-inquiry has been a long journey for me and a beautiful one, a constant learning process. And then when it comes to, and that hits on food, that hits on environment, that hits on the health of the body, right? So I came across Live Ultimate probably a couple months back, and it was obviously 2020. It's been a big year. 2021 is still a big year for all of us. And I said, well, I'm not a control manic or anything, but I also know when I start to react feeling like I'm lacking control, when I feel out of control. And I best get back to myself when I can pinpoint things that I can say, this is something I can control for myself and from, right? And
Exactly.
and I said, well, I need to look at, what I'm eating and the organic foods and where am I sourcing it from? And it's, I'm also a mom of two and my husband works a lot. So to be in the kitchen making home good meals all the time is super time consuming. So I said, I
Of
want
course.
something, yeah, I want something that I can like consume that's going to give me a solid, right, like boost to my day and to my system so that it's functioning optimally.
Mm-hmm.
And then saw that you were an ambassador. I'm like, and I looked into it. I saw, wow, the how intense the ingredients are, how rich, that they're all organic, that they're all GMO free, that they've been third party tested in lab to see that they're low toxicity levels, I was just like, yes, 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 I'm going to try this product. And I've been using it every morning since.
Amazing. Did you take anything before, any other like multivitamin or something similar?
Nothing so whole in the sense.
Potent? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, okay, I need to add more simple things like more turmeric into my sauces or things that I'm making. Turmeric, black pepper. I have camu camu, right? Like a
Mm-hmm.
high source of vitamin C in a natural way. Medicinal mushrooms. I had already kind of explored medicinal mushrooms before, and I would add that to my coffee every morning. Going out to purchase green smoothies, right? Because I didn't have necessarily all these supplements at home,
Exactly. That's the thing.
and
Yep.
right. And so I'm like, okay, I want the spirulina, and I want the chlorella, and I want the wheatgrass, or all these things, and you're like
It's time
spending all
consuming.
of these
Yes.
different
It's not
ways. Yeah.
just that, the time consuming, but like the soil, you don't even know where it's coming from, and you can't even always find it. Like,
Yes.
I used to, have, my shelf full of these things like the maca, the spirulina, the chlorella, the goji berries, like, and then in the morning I was making the smoothie. I had like 50 bottles that I had to like, one by one put them in my smoothie. And my husband is like, oh my gosh. And he's OCD. And then I'm like, look, this is this for that, this is for that. Like you need all these things. And, I started feeling good. And
Yeah.
then when I find myself the Live Ultimate, I was like, thank God. Like, at this time I was still traveling. This was back in early 2000 or I forget, I think early 2000. And, I was like how am I gonna, travel with all these things? And then when we had like one bottle and you have all in it, I was like, that's it, sign me up. That was it. And it's
Right.
like, it's safe to use, we have the seal thing, it's all organic, consciously sold, consciously packaged. I was sold. I was completely blown away. And we were
Yeah.
actually just rated one of the top brands out there. I'm super proud of it.
Yeah, and you remember I shared with you. I think I did that. There's a doctor that I follow, and he was able to gather a bunch of green powders and ask the companies to do third-party testing for transparency. A lot of them didn't respond.
Fair.
Live Ultimate was one that responded, was completely transparent with everything and getting it third party tested, and it showed up on that top okayed
Exactly.
best products. When I saw that, I was like, oh, I knew I was doing something good, but this is even greater reassurance, right? Because
Yes.
it's peeling back an onion sometimes, and I don't want to feel or people think like, oh my God, it's such hard work to be healthy or to be conscious. I don't find it hard work. The more you do it, it becomes simplified because it becomes your knowledge. It becomes your
It's
know-how of
exactly.
what to
It's like
do.
autopilot, just like you
It's not
brush your teeth
autopilot.
and use the restroom and drink water.
That's it. Are people I'm not stressing out to have to brush my teeth every day or do these things, right? It becomes, like
Exactly.
you said, a normal part of your routine. But what that does to my state of my personality, my state of being, and being like, I've just done things to lift me up, right? Call it like just a more positive mood, the fact that I feel more confident in making decisions that are good for me, bringing my vibration up, my frequency up for those that enjoy speaking that language, right? It just makes me feel great. And to be honest, I'm a coffee lover. I still drink coffee, my espresso every morning, but it's also I don't need when I have and all I do I take a big glass of water, right? And I put 2 scoops in it, mix it up, and it's the first thing I take in the morning. First thing. First of all, having a glass of water first thing in the morning,
It's a must.
it's a
Like this is
must,
the must.
right? I'm like, this
But
is
people
also
don't know
helping
it.
me. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's helping me with that additional habit, which is so important. Like, just hydrate first thing in the morning.
First thing in the morning.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then I have the 2 scoops in there, and I'm like, and I can feel it. I can feel that. I don't need my coffee. And sometimes I'll have it a little bit later on, but I love the taste of coffee. I love the smell of coffee. I love the ritual of making my brew in the morning. So I'll still enjoy it, but I think even like gaining that awareness of asking yourself, do I need to do these things anymore? Right? We kind of get into very route
Exactly.
behaviors of I'm just going to do it because this is what I do all the time. But is it serving you? Right?
Is it exactly? Is it
Is it-
so? You just hit. You know what I always talk about is that just because it tastes good, is it good for me, right? Because like the elixir, it's so pure. It's all the goodness in it, and we're like, oh, but the taste, it tastes earthy. It tastes to me, it tastes sweet because I know what's in it and what it's doing to my body. So it's all in our head.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, once you get away from those things, those food that you might be eating, the sugary things, all the artificial things, your
Yeah.
taste bud's gonna change.
Yes.
Give it 2 weeks and it's gonna completely change. And the things that, used to give you joy, now it's gonna taste like garbage. It's gonna be like, oh my gosh, how was I eating this all the time?
Yes.
Really? It's like just
Absolutely.
the conscious choices that we make for the future of our health.
Yeah.
Because basically, what you were saying is like mind, body, soul. You can eat the good food if you have stress, and you have other, things around you that can make you sick. It's all, comes together. We have to balance everything. But
Yeah.
I
Give
feel like
ourselves the opportunity to give ourselves the opportunity. You know, when I do these things, it's not like, oh, now I can go out and consume, things that are no good or put myself in an environment where it's going to be unhealthy. Um, because there's a lot of things out there that are kind of hindering our optimal functioning,
oh,
right?
for sure.
With our phones in our pockets all the time, with having a really hard time even sourcing. Gosh, an apple today has like, I believe, like 1/40th of the nutrient density that
Than it was before.
that it was, before the Second World War, right?
Yeah,
Just because of everything that's changed agriculturally. So
exactly.
even in our attempt to like have a more plant-based diet, it's such a lower density, lower, right? That we need to still
Exactly.
amp it up a little bit more.
That's exactly 100%. I always say like literally you can, if I would give you, three apples from three different part of the earth, you'd be amazed. And it would be the same kind of apple, but growing in
Right.
a different environment, you'll be like, oh my gosh,
Absolutely.
it's insane. And so this is why, even if we try to eat, all, whole and we go to like the farmer's market, unfortunately, we don't get enough nutrients in
Right.
our body, one thing. And then on the other hand, with all these pesticides and like, the pollution in the air, the pollution in the water, with all
In
the
the
plastic
soil.
in the soil, like literally, we're eating plastic, the size of a credit card a week. They were finding, microplastic in infants. So it's
Right.
like, unfortunately, we don't see the pollution that we are, somehow ends up in our body, whether it's the lotion or the water or the air. It just ends up in our body, and
Yeah.
we're like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with me? Why is my stomach hurts, or why this or why that?
Yeah.
We need to consciously make the better choices because there are some things that we can't control. So what can we control? What are the things that I can do today to take care of myself?
Yes.
To
Yes.
sleep, to have quality sleep, right? To have quality water,
Yes.
have quality food. That's it. Even if I can't, afford to go to the Whole Foods,
For sure.
just buy the fresh wherever you can and take your multivitamin, which is the elixir. Like that's it. This should be like on you
Yeah.
know, everyone's counter and take it every day.
Absolutely. And the elixir, I have it right here. The elixir, it's a particular price point. It may not be for everyone. I understand that, but everything else I do consciously is a lot of it's free,
Yeah,
right? It's going outside, taking my shoes off, and standing on soil, or getting yourself to the beach. Like I live on the coast. You live on the coast. Finding diverse environments where we can be outside and breathing that, being in the sunlight,
exactly.
and then meditation, having practices that help ground yourself in the sense of like de-stressing, getting into our rest and recovery, sleep, like you said, right? A lot of things that are absolutely free that can bring us
Exactly.
to a, a greater sense of productivity in our bodies.
Yeah. And try to do everything, in a natural way, like forget about the pills. Like so many people, oh, I can sleep, I pop a pill or whatever. It's like, why? Your body is, functions when it gives you, the right nutritions. Everything, as they designed, and it works on its own and it heals as well.
Yeah.
If we have any illness, the body heals itself, if you just give it the right nutrients that, you can just use it wherever it needs it, and then that's it. Just
Right.
let it
And
be.
you're hitting on something that I love because it's also giving it the opportunity to heal. We tend to want to bypass that the body has an intelligence to want to start healing. Like as simple as if my children got a little sick and they had a fever, right? My husband was, I love him, of course, but he would be the first to say, give them a fever reducer. Give them, right? Like they have a fever, you have to take the fever away. And it's like even we had a wonderful, when we were in Miami, because I'm living next to Tulum now in Mexico. But when we were in Miami, I had an amazing holistic pediatrician, and she would even advise. She let me know. She's like, the body's response to a fever is positive. This is how it's raising the internal temperature of the body, and whatever virus that is not happy in that climate. It's not happy there. So fever is doing something very positive. That's the body's healing. And if we're using a fever reducer, for example, we're lowering that temperature back to a place where the virus is like, I'm kind of happy again.
Yep.
Right? And I'm going to multiply. So there are
Yep.
certain degrees, and they're little bits, right? When we learn a nugget of something, like apply it, see it, get maybe a second opinion, like I try to always kind of stay moderate in how I'm learning and take it progressively. I'm not much of an extremist necessarily. But I was like, I think my children, if I can see them still playing, still doing good, and they have a low-grade fever, I'm not going to give them something, right?
Exactly.
Like, let the body do what its intelligence is made to do, right?
Yes.
And it grows even smarter. And so when it meets that little bug in the air again, oh, I know what to do, because the body's had the experience of doing it. And it's the same in our relationships, or rather, we need to have that ability, right? When it's like, oh, I had an interaction with someone and it ended up like this. It's like, if that shows up again in your life somewhere, be open, watch, but like you had an experience, learn from it, right?
Exactly.
Always be in this process of learning, reapplying, right?
It's exactly like what I'm thinking. It's like just have your intuitive, intuition guide you, and just ask questions, and don't, just settle for whatever, your neighbor said or whatever you heard in the news. It's like, what works for you? Just research as much as you can. Like, with the fever, I'm sure so many people, don't know that. And they just like, oh, they made pills for it, so I take the pill because it's in the stores.
Yes.
No, we live in the world right now that you need to question everything. Really everything. And what resonates with you.
Everything has its role. The fact that I have a very natural approach to dealing with preventative. Absolutely, when it comes to preventative, I'm all about that. Like I want to spend my money and spend my focus in when I'm well to prevent any illness to come. I don't want to just all of a sudden be stricken with something and then spend my time and energy and money dealing with an illness, To a degree, it's somewhat of, down the line for us, simply when it comes to staying physically active and the aging process, right?
Big time.
We could all kind of just succumb to this is what happens when you age because it's been the narrative. But you don't need to look that way. You don't need to have that narrative, right?
Exactly. I always have this conversation with my mother. It's like, I'm whatever age, this is how I'm like, no. No.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have to be that way because you grow up, seeing that,
Yeah.
It's like, look at other people. This person looks like that with the same age as this person. It's like, you know, it's everything about, you know, how we are living our lives every day. Our choices determine our future, pretty much. And
Yeah.
this is what it is, like people just stay in the moment and like, oh, I'm gonna have this, whatever, you know, who cares? But do you think about, you know, the future, like, you know, years from now? Oh, we don't know it's gonna happen. I'm like, okay, sure. So you do you, I do me. Like, I would like to live my life preventative, like you said. Like, how can I, you know, live my life so I feel good in my skin, right?
Yes. Yeah. Just like you know, when, gosh, with my two children, they were born, my son in a birth center and my daughter at home. And that's going against, the grain
Everything.
for a lot of people. And it's not a narrative you hear a lot. And if people get, a lot of women, even though they love the idea of it, they can get really scared about it. And to be honest, I had more fear going into a hospital than I felt staying at home.
I feel you. I 100% feel
Right?
you.
Of this stuff. And it's, I think when it comes to um, accountability and responsibility, it can be a learning curve. It's a learning curve for people to begin the journey of information, discerning information, trial and error of testing how it is, how do you feel, and coming to a place of their own sense of intuition and empowerment. Right? I'm not a researcher by career, but I'm definitely a researcher. I like to sit and really tunnel in to things that are on my mind. I did the same going into when I was going to have home births, to know everything about it and get the supportive team around me that I knew, okay, if A, B, C, or D happens, what are we going to do? And then afterwards I said, my body's not a lemon.
Yeah.
All of us, right? All of us, we're not lemons. And if we turned into one in the sense of it not working optimally, well, then how did that
Yeah.
come to pass, right? What can we look at?
Yeah. Speaking of your kids, I was gonna ask you, do you give them the elixir? Because my friends are putting it in their smoothies and the kids love it.
Yes, and like I said, I put it in a glass of water. I've never done it any other way. My
Mm-hmm.
husband likes to put it in like almond milk or something like that. For him, it's easier to drink. I have no problem, and I'll tell my kids they'll drink it with water, just like myself,
I love it.
just like me.
It's
And
amazing.
honestly, it's the palate, like you said, right? I don't. We have ice cream, we have treats, we do things again in moderation, but my children have a palate for the actual flavor of vegetables and fruit. Like
It's all about what you give them.
yeah,
They're
right?
not the one that goes to the grocery store and shop for the food. You have to you have to give them the food that's gonna help them grow, right? And grow healthy cells. And I can talk about this for days, but
No.
it's really, you know, how we raise them from the beginning and what they see at home. And then what you do is they're gonna do the same.
Yeah.
It's like
And
what example, you
that's
know, we
it.
live by. Yeah.
And it's not to say that we don't get sick. We get colds, right? Colds still do happen. And my son had a runny nose just the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because so I have ionic zinc, right? I have the green elixir. I have the
Mm-hmm.
elderberry syrup. I have these things, and it's almost there's an odd thing that happens where they like all of their medicines. That are like, "Mommy, I'm sick. Can I have this? Can I have this?" Like they
It
actually
tastes
like
good.
they like it, but zinc is not something that's easily
Yeah.
consumed on the tongue, and there's like no problem at all. But what I do notice is that when we do get sick, the first hint of it I can perceive in my body, right? I can sense when things are a little off or when my internal temperature gets a little higher. So just kind of being very present with how I feel every day and
Mm-hmm. You're in tune with
knowing
your body. Yeah.
exactly. And honestly, I just do what I do. I may have a second elixir during that day or something, and
Mm-hmm.
48 hours,
Gone.
it's
I'm the same.
gone.
I haven't
Like,
been sick in years. I don't think I've been sick since Yeah, since I'm in the States, I haven't, thank God.
Right.
Over
Yeah.
16 years.
And my sister-in-law, actually, and my business partner, actually, we have our yoga school together. She told me just this morning, actually. She's like, I think I'm ready to start like doing a monthly, purchase of the elixir,
Amazing.
because whenever she is not well, I'm like the
Hello. Take
I'm her
this.
neighbor. I'm like, in the morning, I'm like, here, babe, and I give her an empty cup, my big glass, and I give her some of that, and I'll do that for a couple mornings, and she always says, she's like, I'm like, how you doing? She's like, I'm feeling much better. My energy is up. All these things. So, you know,
I love
it's
it.
as much as I don't have, thank God, such a blessing that my IBS has passed, since my early 20s. But I don't deal with anything chronic, anything skin or autoimmune or
Hmm.
digestion or any of these things. But I can still see how my body is benefiting from
So what would you say,
superfood.
what are the major benefits that you actually feel or see since you're taking the elixir? You said you have the energy and you don't need the coffee, yeah?
Exactly. Energy. I don't need the coffee. I think there's a greater resilience to my skin. At the same time, my hair growth has been, something. The strength of my nails, the functioning, my digestive system. Like, let's be honest here, right? I am way more
Very
regular.
regular.
Yes,
People really think if they don't use the restroom, like number two, for 2 days, it's okay.
and
That it's normal. I'm like,
if
are you
my
serious?
I
What are
used
you
to be
talking?
that person. I used
Oh
to
my
be that
gosh,
person
no.
that would go 2, 3 days and I would be like, this is just me, right? Like, this is what Emily in a, normal state is. Um, and then, and just accepting of that, right? We do that so much, right?
So
Why,
much
why
with everything.
yeah. And something I love to live by is a Tony Robbins quote. I'm sure many of us know, we all know Tony Robbins. And he said, we are what we tolerate. And I go back to that time and again. It's okay. I'm totally fine with being in uncomfortable situations sometimes. If, so there's a big shift and I allow myself, you grow when you're uncomfortable with resilience and resistance.
Exactly.
But when we're looking at something that is like daily, long term health, relationships, you are what you tolerate.
And
Don't
you are what you eat
You
as
are what
well.
you eat. Yes. So you have to, right? And then look, now I was like, I didn't know my body could function this way and feel more light and body able and, like detoxed, right? Like
Exactly.
having eliminated what my body's supposed to eliminate on a regular basis.
Yes.
So yeah, that really helps.
Yeah, I
That's
feel the
definitely
same.
it. Energy, skin, and recovery, right? Like, because when I do ever get sick, my recovery time is way quicker
Way
than
faster. That's
yeah.
beautiful.
And I find
Yeah.
it doesn't spread. We used to in our family, if one person got sick, it went around, right? Like, it had to make the turn, and sometimes it doesn't happen anymore at all.
Hmm.
Like, everyone's individual immune system is coming into contact with someone else that's sick, and that's it.
Yeah.
They're not getting sick themselves, right? And that's
Yeah.
the best case scenario.
You know what it is for me? I mean, I've been taking the elixir for over a year, almost
Yeah.
a year and a half, way before the pandemic. But I never occurred to me, the fear that I'm fear, getting sick, not just with this virus, but with anything. You know what I mean? It's just like, because I know that I'm taking care of my body and it's gonna fight it off. It doesn't matter what it is. I prepared mind, body, soul, with the meditation, take care of the inside out, and then protect it. I'm fine. I think this is huge. Like, I know so many people are just so worried and so afraid to, go outside, be in contact with other people. I am not gonna not hug my friends and family. You know what I mean? Like, everyone is taking the elixir. I hope. And everyone is fine, and they're gonna fight it off. Now I'm not talking about the people, unfortunately, that get sick and everything. It's very sad, but I'm just talking about myself. Like, I know I'm protected, and I had countless of tests all the time. I have to do it, it's fine, but I feel like, like we talked about, when the body isn't working in an optimal, how it should be, it's
Yeah.
gonna fight off whatever it is. And I think this is the main thing, is to take care of yourself and watch what you eat, watch what you do, watch what you surround yourself with, your environment. Is it toxic? Is it uplifting? Do you feel good?
Yeah.
Just tune in with your body and take time. I mean, this pandemic was perfect for that, right? We were forced to stay outside and really, sit with ourselves.
Yeah.
Is this a life I want to live in? Is this a life I enjoy living?
Yes.
If not, how can I improve it? What should I be doing? So I'm just very grateful that, Live Ultimate gives me a platform, to reach out more people and help them, to live a better life.
I agree, and
Yeah.
it's a place of privilege that I also include myself in, to say this last year I've been able to stop and reflect, right? That, whether there have been job loss, there has been lots of things that affected our lives financially, and moving with the waves of fear and trying to understand something that's been novel, and also novel in the way that our culture, society, and governments are handling things, in our generation, right? So, but what do I want to say? Oh,
That's a train of thought. It happens.
yeah.
It happens.
Oh
You're
my
so
God. How
you're
did I start
so
my
good.
sentence?
But we were talking about your privilege, right? To
Yes,
have.
right. Thank you. Thank you. That's it. That's all I needed to hear. Thank you. In that, at least if those of us that are taking time to reflect and say there's a better way for me to do things, there's a better way for me to treat myself, maybe there's a better way I can treat others, then if that's, something where we can come out of this. Gosh, there's been so many movements in this last, period of time, that we can circle back and be better, and not don't like acknowledge, but like, and feel the shame, feel guilt, feel that you made wrong decisions, right? Sit in that for a minute, but don't let that debilitize you. Debilitate,
Yes. Just
right?
rise above and,
Just
and
rise
start over.
above.
And not just like, oh, tomorrow I'd better know. You had a meal, you had a donut. Okay, fine. So then have a green juice and have two
Yeah,
glasses of water. And then for dinner, you eat better. It's like, enjoy life. You don't need to
enjoy.
live, and starve yourself. Just enjoy it with moderation and take your greens. This is
Yeah,
why it is. It's like balance.
yeah, absolutely.
So I wanted to talk about, you were mentioning, that it's not everyone can afford it. We did raise the prices, but because we rolled out with this amazing new program. Are you ready for this?
Tell me what.
Okay, so if you are a preferred customer, which means you get, every month, which you should if you take it every day, which you should.
Yes.
If you refer 3 new customers, yours is free. As long as,
Okay.
as long as
Yes. Okay.
as long as you're on it every month and your people that you are referring on it every month, yours is free. Free shipping,
Yes.
free everything.
Yes.
I am
Oh,
so
I love
excited.
it.
So excited. No
I
more
love it. I love
excuses.
it. Yes, no, right. And
Yeah.
just organically, like I'm not an ambassador, and I go out and I'm like, people are like, what do you do? And look at like that. And I'm like, this is what I take, this is what I do, these are the things, like these are organic conversations I have with people. And well, I need to find out because my husband works between Miami and coming to be with us at home here in where we are in Puerto Aventuras. And so he's bringing
We'll find
me.
a way to get it there.
Yes, right. If it can come here, right?
Yeah.
There's a huge expat community that I live in here that I know
Yes.
our big thing. Those of us are conscious are always looking for how do we have access, to have these things here without
Yes.
having to like go to the US or do these things. So
Exactly.
you know, as
Exactly.
long
I know we
but I'm
are
still
working on
shipping all
a,
my things.
yeah, we are working on with, you know, expanding the market, and where, you know,
Yeah.
you are able to just go on a website and order it. I know Canada now, other than, you know, all over in America, but I'm not
Canada,
sure where we
Canada
are.
you can have Canada.
Yes,
Oh,
Canada,
great.
yes. So you can, you know,
Excellent.
just go on a website and then put in your address, and then it's gonna be shipped out.
Oh, amazing. I saw my mom jump onto the live and
Oh,
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, she was there. And she's interested in trying it too.
And she's in Canada, yeah?
She's in Canada. Yeah. Yeah.
That would be amazing. Yeah. I used to send it to my mom to Hungary, but now with this thing, it's not easy to send anything over
Really?
there. So I just have to bring her here. That's the only way.
Yes. Okay.
So I would like for you to speak about your journey and the exciting news about the yoga teacher training, so people can. I'm gonna post after I'm posting this conversation. I'm gonna put the link and everything, but I just want you to say to the people that are still here with us.
Thank you, Koki. So no, absolutely. We did our last couple trainings have gone really well. We did one in Brazil in 2020. We did another in Tulum last year, 2020 in October. And here we are now. We are set up for our new training. It's going to be June 5th to the 26th, but here in Puerto Aventuras, which is the community that I live in here. And it is a vinyasa-based, alignment-based teacher training, 200 hours. Myself and my sister-in-law and business partner, Tiffany Zolden, we have a school, Aquaholic Journey. So Aquaholic Journey is the yoga school. And I'll definitely put up the link directly to the page there that people can see. So we're just about a month away. There's a few spots left for anyone interested. This is a residential training, which means, you know, it's just the course itself. And so people, you know, need to fly themselves down and find their accommodations. And there is just so much available where we are. And it's a really just safe, nice space. It's right on the beach. We're beachfront.
I saw the video.
Beautiful.
It's so beautiful.
I get so pumped up every time going into a training. I just love diving back into the material. It's you know, here I am, you know, like I said, 16 plus years in living yoga and getting back to the fundamentals. There's always something that I pick up again.
So this is not only for people that wish to teach, but for people that wants to, you know, hands-on learn about yoga, you know, experience it, you know, with you and your partner that are experts, you know, really, you know, just dive into it deeper, right?
Absolutely. Whether you want to be a teacher or not, actually, we've had that a few times already. Students that came that had no intention of teaching, but just wanted the yoga philosophy, wanted to go more in depth into the philosophy for some, and others it's more about the actual physical postures, meditation, and pranayama, the breath work. And whether, you know, and whether they come out of that and decide they want to teach afterwards, great. But there are those, and we welcome that, right? To be a part of the journey, because there's so much that you can take from the sutras, that which is really the basis of the yogic philosophy, to apply to your life for betterment, right? For yourself, relationships, and it's just a glorious time. So it's a beautiful journey, and I hope anyone interested, please come check out our website. I'll link it here, and we're just about five weeks away from the training. So
how long is it? What's the length?
22 days. Thanks for asking. 22 days. So it is an intensive. There's 2 days off, and but it's, you know, you need it's a big training in the sense that 22 days, 200 hours, homework, right? But it's a beautiful time to fully immerse yourself and commit into the journey. you know?
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to explore, because we're like 20 minutes just north of Tulum, there's such beautiful cenotes and ruins and things to explore, but we highly, highly suggest
Do you want to
coming
talk about the
or
price,
extend
or
after.
you want to talk about the cost, or you just want people to go and check it out on the website so they
No,
can see
I'd say
everything?
yes, absolutely. Go and see. It is. We try to make it as
Affordable as possible.
competitive and
Mm-hmm.
affordable as possible. But we know that we trust that we're offering a high standard of training, and that this can be worldwide, right? To be able to go and really assess people's bodies, um, whether they're coming, whether it's seniors, mixed levels, those that have are coming with trauma, injuries, all these things. Restorative yoga, yin yoga, we really cover it all in that time.
Yeah. That's beautiful. I'm so excited. I don't know if I can go, but I would love to. I have scoliosis and two herniated discs, so
Yes, no, but that's why for me, there's yoga for everyone. It won't look the same.
yeah.
There are benefits to yogic practice,
Mm-hmm.
right? That is for everybody, no matter what body, what age, what creed, race, or gender. There's a yoga practice for everybody.
Awesome. So I wanted to ask from everyone here that is still with us, if you have any questions for Emily or myself about the superfoods or the yoga teacher training or anything else related, to health and wellness, please just type it and then we can talk about it. So we can stay on for a few more minutes and see if anyone has questions. But if not, we can just say goodbye. And I want to thank you, Emily, for taking the time. I know you're a busy mom and, organizing everything for the teacher training to come on, take the time and speak to the world, of your wisdom. I'm so grateful for you. You are a beautiful person. Do the benefits kick in right away? That's a good question. I want to say busy Biba, so cute. No, just like with anything, other than when you drink an alcohol and you feel feel the kick. You need at least like 10 days or 2 weeks in order to feel. I mean, what do you think for you, Emily? But we like to
I
say 30 days. You need to be consistently take it 30 days in order to see it. But some people feel it, like you just feel like when you take it right away, you feel your energy, you feel good, just have
yeah
this high. But
yeah
like, with the digestion also right away. But some things will take time. And
yes no I
everybody is different.
Yeah, I agree with that. There's something that I was kind of aware of saying just when I know that I'm doing something good for myself, how I just feel so positive, right? So there's that element. But it did take, I wouldn't say so much as a month, but I would say even within 2 weeks, I felt
Mm-hmm.
my digestion, and I felt more hydrated, like
Yeah.
things were circulating better, right?
Yeah.
And my energy was lasting me longer throughout my day, kind
Yeah.
of thing.
And I
Yeah.
also wanted to add that, some people have whatever else underlying things, they're not even aware of it. And then
Right.
let's say you want to start taking it for something and then, after a month you don't feel it. There could be something there that needs to be addressed in order to be your body, you use the nutrients from the elixir. So, I wanted to offer, my coaching for the first 30 days, to really go dive deep into, your health history and see, where you can improve. So
Yeah.
whoever is interested in taking the elixir for 30 days, I offer that. So just reach out and I'll be
Oh,
happy to
thank-
help. Yeah.
that's really
That's
awesome.
that's my that's my gratitude that you're taking, a step toward a better health.
I love that. I love the knowledge that you would have as a health coach. I think of the next 10 years, aside from my passion and expertise in yoga, there are elements of that I want to continue bringing in. I'm still
Mm-hmm.
young. We still have a long life to live, right?
Of
And
course.
God,
We're just
and
getting started. This was just until now it was just the appetizer. Now it's the main course is coming.
Yes. Oh my God. It's so good.
I'm excited. But thank you everyone that
Thank you
joined
for having
us.
me.
And I wish everyone a beautiful day. Take your time, learn yourself, make better choices for the future.
Little
Love
by
you
little,
all.
with grace. Mwah. Bye, Cookie. Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.